Okay, this is Monday, May 7th, and my name is Lanita Stambaugh, and we're here to talk about April happenings and talk about May and the summer months coming up. So first of all, let's kind of go over things that happened in April. And I will be posting some graphics too on everything, but I just wanted to highlight some things. We welcomed 9 new members. So Mary Ellis and Beth each had 1. Marilyn had 3. And I had 4 new members. We had 2 people in the Comma Club. So you guys beat me this month. So Pam Morella was top leader on the team this month. And she joined in March, and she already has a new recruit in May. So congratulations, Pam, for being top in our team. Marilyn Longy was second. And then we had a couple people in the $500 club and up to the $999 is the 500 club. Becky Cromer and Lanita Stambaugh each were in that group. And we just had a really good April, I think. Our team is getting a lot stronger. We're communicating more on the team page, which I like to see. I like to hear your input. I don't always like to hear myself talk all the time. So, so I want to hear from all of you on what, this is a team. It's not just me. It's not just, one other person. It's everybody involved. So if you have ideas, let us know. All right, so I think I had said this before. Maybe it was in a post or something. But, the summer's coming up, and I want to do some fun things on the team page. I created a teacher letter. This is Teacher Week, so it's not too late at really any time to do something for teachers. We have some very awesome products for teachers, and if you read that letter, you saw what I had posted about. I had wished when I was teaching in a school setting that I would love to have had those products. And they're great for homeschoolers. I teach online classes, and I use the products for that to keep me organized. When I first started the online teaching last June, my stuff was all over the table, and I was frantically looking for stuff every day. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I have stuff to help me. So I went and grabbed some things and have it all in a file system now, and it works great. So we just have some very, awesome things for teachers. And nurses, the Stuff and Go bag is a great product. I've sold several Stuff and Go bags for the nurses, and I'll be posting something for the nurses this week as well. So if you are on my VIP page or want to be, let me know. I post some things in there. You are welcome to use it. Just please change the watermark, which means, you put your own information on there. If it has my watermark on there, ask me and I can probably remove it. If it's removable, then I can just forward that to you. So I want to be able to supply, you guys things that you're successful. The other thing is, I've started several people with their own VIP group. I've made cover photos and things like that. So if you are listening to this, or if you're on here right now, if you want me to create a VIP group for you, I am more than happy to do that to get you up and going. And so then I'm going to say this, and I'll probably be contacting you each individually as well. So I am administrator on all these groups because I made the groups. But I'm not going to stay administrator, okay? So I will be removing myself or asking you if you care if I would go ahead and remove myself. It's going to be overwhelming to stay in 20 groups, okay? Or more. So just keep that in mind. I thought there was a chat here. I have to move it over. Chat. Let's see here. Oh, thank you, Jackie. She said creating a VIP group for her was so helpful. I was happy to do that for you. So, and then if I do create a VIP group, I have a launch party I have a lunch party and a host coaching group that you can go in and grab some ideas for your lunch party. You don't have to stay in that forever. You know, you can remove yourself whenever you feel like you have enough information. I know being in, you know, 2 or 3 different groups, especially when you're first starting, can be overwhelming. So go ahead and grab what you need, and then, you know, you can remove yourself or you can stay in. You know, it's up to you. If you don't know how to remove yourself, you know, you can ask me and I can do it for you. So, but you're more than welcome to stay there as long as you need it. Okay, so looking at May and looking into the summer, we need to be looking at least 6 weeks ahead to see what's coming up on our schedule. And, you know, we each have our own goals of what we want to be making for each month. And so we can't just say, May, you know, May's here, so we need to start, you know, planning for the rest of May and first part of June. We need to try to front load our months. That front loading means, you know, you try to at least be active by the mid-month of the, you know, of that month. And so you want to schedule, you know, try to get as many workshops booked in the beginning of the month as possible. And this is the other reason why, not only to be active, but if a party would, or a workshop would cancel on you in the first part of the month, you still have that rest of the month to make that up. So you're not like scrambling on the 30th or the 31st and saying, I need, you know, you're begging everybody for sales. And we don't want to seem desperate. I've seen so many people from different companies saying, you know, can you help me out? You know, I need this much in orders to make this goal and things like that. And, you know, me, myself, I get tired of seeing that. So I really try hard not to ever do that because it kind of looks desperate. And so we don't want to be desperate, you know. You don't get bookings by being desperate. So we want to ask people, you know, if they would, you know, okay, so I need to reword this. We're not asking them to help us. We are offering them an opportunity to get some great organizing products. So can you see how we kind of can turn that around? That we are helping them. And then when we help them, that will help us. If you are concentrating on building those relationships with your customers and you are wanting to make them organized and you're wanting to help them, then that is going to come around and be a blessing to you. All right, does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm really tired today. I've been running around all day and I've been up since 4. So if I'm not making sense, just tell me. I wrote my notes down, but I just want to, you know, convey them right. Okay, so what are some fun ideas that we can do over the summer? Theme parties, theme workshops are a great idea. If you say, you know, have Sundays on Saturday, and you ask everybody to bring Sunday ice cream sundae topping, you know, they're going to be more likely to come to that workshop and, you know, and bring that topping because they think you're counting on, well, you are counting on them to bring that. Or you could have taco night or ask each person to bring out an ingredient. Things like that. There's a lot of, if you remind me, I think there's a post somewhere that has like a whole bunch of different theme parties and that you can do. And when you do a theme workshop, theme party, you're not really changing anything that you do during their presentation. It's kind of the refreshments, more or less. I had a Halloween party my first year, and everybody dressed up in a costume, and they just had a lot of fun. I didn't really change. I didn't change anything. I didn't change my presentation. I still used the party cards and all that. I still did the dice game. But the hostess, she had, you know, Halloween treats and, you know, things like that. So when you do a theme, that doesn't mean you personally as a consultant have to change anything, but it just kind of makes it fun for the people attending. that there might, the host might put some special decorations out or have some special treats that go around that theme. So I hope that makes sense. You could have like party on the deck because my house is a wreck. So you're outside. Yeah, people love that one. And that helps the host too, because she doesn't have to clean her house really, and fingers crossed for no rain that day. But yeah, I had a deck party one time, and it was a lot of fun. It was a decent night. The wind wasn't blowing, so everything just kind of it really worked out. There, I have posted a thing. Jackie commented on it. Over 100 ways to find bookings. So that's a lot to read through, but if you get through the first 20, I bet you're going to come up with an idea that was like, I could do that. One of the first things it talked about was realtors. And so I'm going to be writing up a realtor letter to, I don't know if you want to leave a letter with them or just an idea of how to converse with them, some ideas on that. So I'm going to be doing that. Probably, I might get to it this week. I'm not going to promise. This is also Nurses Week, and I promised a whole bunch of people to get some things sent out in the mail. So, and I'm going to be gone all day tomorrow. We have our local team meeting tomorrow evening. So when I have my local team meeting, I run a whole bunch of errands in that area because that's where I'm from originally. So I try to see a whole bunch of people. Host a fundraiser. So I'm doing a fundraiser right now. Actually, I'm going to be doing 2 fundraisers. The one is to help a lady host an orphan over the summer. And so I started a group, and we've talked about putting events in groups instead of events. I've had a lot more interaction in the groups. It's going to take a little bit getting used to, but if you don't know any different, you're going to be fine. So people are going to be seeing your posts more than in an event. I just looked through an event that we did, and half the people hadn't even seen the notification that they were invited. So that's another reason to do groups. So I'm hosting another fundraiser. So I'm doing these chemo comfort bags. I don't know if you've seen my posts on that. I stopped at, I stopped at 5 schools today. Well, 6 if you count a double. Some of the schools have elementary and high school, and I doubled up. I stopped at both of those. I gave them a couple catalogs, and I used old catalogs, so don't ever throw your old catalogs away. I have a ton of old catalogs. I'm going to use those for vendor shows and things like this. I gave them a couple catalogs, and I put a letter in there that I had posted on the team page. And I gave them 10% off any orders the month of May and for teacher gifts. And I also put on there, if you read the letter, that I do fundraisers and things like that. So I'm doing that. Any orders that come in on that, any orders that come in on my chemo comfort bags, I am going to be giving that money to a girl that I had as a student, and she was in my daughter's class. She's 29 years old, and she was just diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. Yeah. So she lives 3 hours away from me. I can't go to her benefits and things like that, but I thought I can turn that around. I'm not able to give a large amount, but I can use those orders, coming in for those chemo comfort bags. I can turn around and use that money to give to her for her cancer treatments. And when you do fundraisers, you have to find a place to give it. You can't give it to an individual, just so you know that. So I can give it to the place that's hosting her benefit, I think. I think that's going to work out for me to do that. Okay, nurses specials, we talked about that. So try to think of things like Mother's Day is next week. We have gift certificates. So what mother, wouldn't like a gift certificate? You might want to post about your gift certificates, and then she can use it for what she wants. So it's not too late. The orders probably wouldn't get here for Mother's Day, But a gift certificate, she can go ahead then and order from you what she wants. Now, on the gift certificates, if you've read about those, any people can go to anybody and use them. So you need to really put your information when you give them the gift certificate. Make sure your information is on there everywhere so that they're going to go to your website and use it that way. Let's see. Oh, talking about specials, I just want to emphasize this. I don't do specials very often. Okay. I did like holiday specials, like Cinco de Mayo. I said $5 flat rate. Nobody really took me up on that, so that's okay. But it kind of got them, kind of got people thinking. You can do holidays are good times to do specials, but holidays are once or twice a month. I don't do specials all the time because people start to expect that, and then they're not going to order from you unless you have a special. So if you run a special, do it something really short and something that you can afford to do. If you want to do a bundle with, summer items, you could do that. But just remember, if it's not a customer special from home office, that you will have to eat that, that difference. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so ask people. You're going to have to ask people when you're getting started. If you have not had your lunch party yet, have your lunch party or lunch workshop, and then you're going to build off of that. You're going to play the dice game, and you're going to book parties off of that. People are going to want to help you when you get started and book parties. At my home workshop, when I started 4 years ago, I had 5 bookings off my lunch party, and it just spider webs from there and keeps going that way. So you want to just make sure to play the dice game. If you don't know what I'm talking about, ask me. All right, so, and then if we message people, I know a lot of people don't like to get on the phone and call, but if you message people, don't do mass messages or mass, like Facebook Messenger, don't do mass messages on there. It's annoying. Somebody put me in a mass message last week that's hosting a party, a Facebook party. And it's just driving me crazy because now people are posting, oh, look, I painted my kitchen, and everybody's commenting, and I feel bad. I don't want to leave the group, but there's several people that have left the group. And I don't want to leave as the consultant. I mean, I'm going to wait till her party's over to leave the group. But people are not using, I was like, why did you do a mass message? So don't do a mass message. And I mean, there might be occasion when I do it really quick to, for a reason, but I say, don't comment on this. It's just something I have to get out to 10 people. But I try never to do mass messages because, yeah, if you've ever been caught in one, you know what they're like. Same with text messages. Then people restart replying, and then people get annoyed. And okay, so you want to make it something fun and light. You want to just make it like a 3-sentence thing when you're messaging people. Just say something like, hey girl, I'm excited about our May workshops and thought of you. I'm giving a special gift for anyone that hosts a workshop this month. We have great gifts for all those May events. So think of graduation, Mother's Day, etc. And you might, when they message you back, you're just trying to get their attention. Okay, so in 3 sentences or less, just try to get their attention. And then if they message you back, then you can, say, you can just start a conversation. You're building those relationships. Maybe start out with, instead of, right away, if you haven't talked to this person for a while, ask about their family or ask about something you saw on Facebook. Try to get them engaged in a conversation, and then say, I just started a business with Clever Container. We're all about organizing, blah, blah, blah. So just be yourself, and hopefully that will get you some bookings. All right, let's see here. I already talked about that. Yesterday, I was just thinking, I want to donate 50 bags to the hospital. What I put in the bags are worth, and the bag themselves, it's worth about $60 total. So I'm sitting here thinking, and I've had some things donated already. But I was sitting there asking myself, how can I get people to, help me with this? How can I raise $3,000? I just kept asking how can I do this? And I just kept rolling around ideas. And I started writing down some businesses. So, we all live in different places. We're not going to overlap from each other. Go to Walmart and ask. They gave me a $50 gift certificate at Walmart, and I bought 20 blankets, for $250 each. I have some other places I'm going to ask. I went into the gas station, BP gas station, and I asked, just ask, do you do donations? I've asked at banks. I had a bank donate enough for 2 bags completely filled. I stopped at another bank today, and they said I had to go to the main office, but they do donations. So think of all the places, just think of your town. As I was driving around today, I was like, oh, I could go there, I could go there, I could go there. Is everybody going to say yes? Probably not. But you're making that connection. You're just asking, do you do donations? And if they say yes, they might have you fill something out. I took the Comfort Care bag. I took the Stuff and Go with me, filled with, I had a stuffed animal in there, some socks, and people just loved it, and an activity book. They're like, oh, that is such a great idea, So when they can see it, that's going to help you a lot than just trying to describe it. I also wrote a letter that I can share with you that stated where the bag was going. That's another thing. You want to find us somewhere to donate the bags to. So you want to make sure that they can accept them. Sometimes, places can't, or they have too much, or don't have a place to store, whatever reason. But just make sure to contact those places ahead of time, and that will help you tremendously. I found that out when we were doing another fundraiser, that nobody really responded when I just put that out there. But when I said, these bags are going to such and such place, I had a whole bunch of people say, oh, I want to do that. I like, I know about that place, I want to donate to that. So that will help you a lot. And okay, so, what if they say no? It's nothing against you personally. It's like you probably hear me say this a lot of times, but it's like when you're at a wedding and somebody comes up to you and, do you want a piece of wedding cake? If you say no, it's nothing against that waiter that's serving you the cake. You just don't want a piece of wedding cake. So think of it that way, okay? They just don't want the piece of wedding cake right now. That you're making that contact, and, who knows, in the future they were like, oh, that person left me a catalog. I need such and such for a gift. Or, oh, we have the money now. We can donate to this. So I don't know if you saw my post. Did I just say this earlier on this call, or did I write it on the post? I'm sorry. But I stopped one more place tonight. I stopped at another school, and they had been looking for a place to send their funds to. And if I wouldn't have stopped there and just gone home, I wouldn't have known that. And they might have found somebody else to donate their funds to. But they have to get rid of these funds before the end of the school year, to cancel some of that out so they can start fresh in the fall. And so she's going to talk, she has 4 groups, and she's going to talk to the groups and see, if that's okay to donate the money to the Comfort Care bags. And she loved that idea. And she said, for sure that they could do an ongoing thing in the fall. You just don't know unless you ask and put yourself out there. I'm sure all of you live close to a school or close to a bank, or, all these places that, the BP gas station that I said I stopped at. She gave me the phone number for the corporate office that I had to call because they didn't have the forms. So I'll be calling them tomorrow. Think of bigger stores like Lowe's, Kohl's, Target, some of these contacts that I'm going to be making in the near future here too. So I couldn't get them all in one day. Okay, so then at your workshops, are you asking for dessert? So we talked about the wedding cake, but this is kind of another spin on things. Are you asking for dessert? And so what that means is, are you upselling? And so upselling is they give you their order, and you look at their order and you see that they have, for example, the Stuff and Go, and they did not order the strap. You want to make sure that they order the strap, because if they put too much in that Stuff and Go or can't close the handles, it's going to be difficult for them to carry around if they have too much stuffed in there. And also, you want to tell them that the strap will free up another hand. When I was subbing in the schools last year, I had my laptop in there. I had a book to read. I had all this stuff, paperwork to do, because when the kids would go to their specials, PE and music and stuff, I didn't want to just sit there and twiddle my thumbs. I wanted something to do. So I always had the Stuff and Go with me, and I had the strap. I could just carry that in with my, I had took my lunch. So with that strap, you're freeing up your hands to carry other things. So you always want to sell the strap. So that's, you're selling them the dessert. You're selling them just a little bit extra that they might not have thought about. That's going to help them a lot. That's just a $5 item. But if you did that, 10 times, that's $50. Okay. The Better Together baskets, which are, some of them are on back order right now, but the liners that go in them, you might want to mention that to them. Hey, the liners would be great. You could put potatoes and onions in them, and then you won't have all that stuff falling through, those onion skins and stuff. Or you could use them in, maybe you ask them, hey, what are you going to use these baskets for? Maybe they want to put toys in them. Well, if you put the liners in, they're going to hold a lot more, and stuff's not going to fall through those, the little grates or whatever you call them. All right. So another thing I'm going to be posting about is like, in the summer months, you could do like a flip-flop. What did we call it last year? A flip-flop something or other. But you find 6 hosts, and they all collect $100. That's all they have to collect. So you give them a catalog and order forms, and you want to make sure that they live close to you, because you don't want to ship stuff yourself to them. So what you do is you put those 600. So you will have $600 in orders if they all follow through, right? And you could do a bigger, if you found 10 hosts, just collect $100. That would be $1,000 party or $600 party. So then you split all those things up. So you would do a drawing, like, okay, the first person, you get an item at half off. The second person, you win $20 free. And so then you'll split up all those host rewards with those 6 people. And then you'll also have a host bundle that you can, maybe one person would get the host bundle, things like that. Okay, so we have 10 minutes here. Okay, so I want to hear from you. What questions do you have? What do you need from me for this, for May and the upcoming summer? Did you get some ideas tonight? What questions do you have?
I have one.
Yes.
Can you hear me? The gift certificates. I thought I saw somewhere that they had one where you could print it and write your stuff in, write your name and your email, and then the number, so that they could actually give it. But I couldn't find it the other day when I was looking this weekend.
Okay.
Is that something that
Your business supplies?
I looked through the business supplies. I did not see it.
If you open your websites, the gift certificates are right there at the top.
But they just send an email. They don't send like the actual gift certificate, right?
I read about it, but I didn't memorize it, because I just wanted to read over it real fast.
Right.
But I will see if I can post something about that on the team page. I wrote myself a note here.
Okay. I thought somebody on the team page had just like made a picture and said anybody can print this off, and I couldn't find it, so I don't know.
On our team page?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not on anybody else's team page.
if they did, I missed it, I guess, because I don't remember seeing anything about it. I don't remember seeing an actual something somebody could print off.
I think it came out like right after the gift cards came out, but I can't remember.
Okay.
I may have just been like, somebody may have said, well, this is what I'm going to do, and then, I don't know.
Okay. I will look for that. Anybody else, or anybody want to add anything? I have a whole bunch of ideas for summer. I love summer parties. I love summer workshops. They're a lot of fun. Host one yourself, you know. If you haven't heard me tell this story before, I had 2 parties that canceled on me, and I was counting on those parties to book, you know, for the next month. So here I was halfway through this 1 month. Let's say it was April. And this has been like 3 years ago. So here I was April 15th, and my whole April I felt was shot because I didn't have any more parties. And then May, because I wasn't following what I just told you to do, look 6 weeks ahead. May, I didn't have anything because I was counting on those 2 parties in April to book my May. And so I was just like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? My husband said, well, April is not over yet. And I said, you're right. So I got busy. I sent out 50 invitations. I had my own mystery house party. I had a $500 party, and that got me through April and into May. So it can be done. When you're determined, it can be done. So think outside the box, think of ideas, and if you need help on anything, always contact your sponsor or your director. You know, we're here to help you with that. So, okay, anybody else? You guys are quiet today. Anybody else need anything? Have questions? I really appreciate all of you tuning in tonight.
Jackie just posted a question. I don't know if you
Oh, I'm sorry. Are there any tips on ordering for yourself, like for shipping? As far as like well, if you place a direct ship order, you always have to pay the $7.95 minimum. Is that what you mean? I want to build it. Oh, okay. Inventory for the show. Okay, so when you do a direct ship, it's going to be $7.95 minimum up to $50, $8.95 from $50 to $90, and then after $90, it's 10% shipping. Is that what you mean, Jackie? Okay. Yeah, oh, and this is the other thing. You always want to have a party open for yourself, because there are going to be those random orders that come in and the person's not connected to any party. So you put it under your party, and then when it gets to $400 or $500, you can close that out and use the host rewards for yourself and get the free products for yourself. Oh. So yeah, if you are the hostess, you know, if you have things shipped to the hostess, okay, it's 10% shipping. So if you order a belt hanger, just one belt hanger direct ship will be $7.95. If you order it on a party, it'll be $1.20. But then you want to make sure, you know, and have the minimum party of 150 so it can be shipped to you.
Well, and also it won't ship until the party's closed.
Right.
I think that's an important piece of it.
Yes. Yeah. So, all right.
It's garage sale time. Get out there with your catalogs.
Marilyn, you have 3 minutes.
Okay. Take your catalogs out, stop at every garage sale you go to, and tell them they don't have to buy anything. You just want them to look through the book and to email you 3 of their favorite items. That's all they have to do. And what you're doing is getting that in their hands, but then you have to get their information, so that I always get their information for somebody I give a catalog to. so that you can follow up. So get their information on a customer care card. Ask them if they would just email you their 3 favorite items and thank them for that, and that you've got their information so they can respond to that. Anyway, what happens is they're sitting there bored to tears, and their neighbors come over and they're bored and they're chatting about the weather and having your catalog there. Then they all start looking at it. You never know what can come from that.
Mhm. And even if they don't order right then, you know, a couple months down the road, they might come across that before, you know, again and say, oh, you know, I wanted to order this. I need to call that person.
Well, and yes, and you may get a response from them and their favorite thing, but you've got their customer care, so you've got their address, their name, and at least their phone number.
Tiger.
What?
Sorry, my cat just got up and it stealing my other cat's food. Hey, we always like when you're doing parties, I always have the one that's open in my daughter's name, and then I do so that everybody knows that like if they're gonna order, or if I don't have a full party, I just have it in her name and then have it shipped to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just do that so that it's easier to know which one is which.
Right. Okay. Here, Jackie says, if someone orders online, does the party have to close before it ships? Yes.
No, not if if they're ordering online, it's going to be shipped to them, Lanita.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think.
Yes, you're right. Yes, Jackie, if they order online for themselves, it will ship immediately. So sorry about that. I read that wrong.
Well, that's kind of confusing. So I finally got that one done. It only took me a while.
With Facebook parties, do they order online? Yes, usually they do. Or they will have you order it, but you want to direct ship those unless they live close to the host. So that could save them a little shipping. I don't try to, if we get cut off, we'll discuss this on the team page. I try not to hold the Facebook parties open very long because people don't come back to them once they're over. Does anyone have a party coming up I can drop in on? Yes. Well, I can hook you up with an old one to show you what I did. Right. Okay, thank you everyone. Before we get cut off, thank you for calling in, and I'll see you back on the team page. Let me know if you have any other questions. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night.